This is Lord Thaddeus Cray, and today I'm not going to be talking about cryptids. I promise you guys, I'll make that up for that and release one next week as soon as possible. Also, want to let you guys know, Unforgiven, Chapter 3 is soon to be out. Also, after that, 2 more chapters should be released. The latest audio recording that I did of that was a little longer than I anticipated, so there's going to definitely be a chapter added that I didn't anticipate. But anyway, moving on from that. Oh yes, and also after that, I will be continuing the Werewolf Hunter saga. And believe me, I look forward to doing that one. It's just brain to mouth sometimes, you get my drift. But again, moving forward. This one is a very important one I'm going to bring up. Due to things that I have witnessed over the last week and a half, I have seen the worst of human nature that I never thought I would see in my life. I mean, let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to put any details on it. I'm not going to put a spin on it. It's just fact. For those who are aware of the situations we've all been facing in the quote-unquote cryptid community, and I use it very lightly, loosely I should say, with all the backbiting that I've seen lately. I mean, don't get me wrong, most of the people are very positive. I'd say close to 95%. It's that 5%, man. Leave it at that. Now moving on from that. Because of these kind of shenanigans and actions, and the nature of cryptids themselves, there's a lot of negative energy that comes with such things. It's fascinating, I enjoy it, but I'm telling you, cryptids are not natural creatures, not the way we would consider them. There's energy that is attached to them, the subject matter itself. You put your intent for it into a task you do. And that task, of course, usually gets accomplished. It's not just through your actions, it's through your spirit's will. And of course, whether the Father allows it or not. But in the end, that's what free will is about. Leave it at that. Now, I'm not going to go on a tangent on that respect. I'm going to try to get focused on what I'm trying to tell you. You must understand, with this subject matter, people have an intent to find the truth. Whether the thing is, there's a lot of ego and a lot of affairs attached to that. The cryptids themselves are beyond many of them, like I said many times, I believe firmly they've evolved or developed different than us. They have abilities that we can't comprehend. You must understand, when you're trying to connect with something like that, it will connect back with you all right, and you may not like the result. That's why I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at this. For God's sake, if you're going to listen, like binge listen, watch, whatever, I do it too, you need to make sure that you are prayed up. Whatever your faith is, you need to make sure you have invoked some kind of protection. Now, you can say how weird that sounds, and I really don't, that ain't my problem. My job, not just my job, but one of my callings is to do this. You guys need to be aware of what must be done. I'm not speaking of prayer or ritual in that finest sense of the word, because the fact is, that's up to you to decide. You figure that out. You're intelligent. You guys are all very smart. I love you guys that listen to me. I mean that. The fact is, you have to make sure there is a barrier between what you're trying to look for and the intention of trying to get the results of what you're looking for. Because sometimes the results you can't handle. It's just that simple. Even Christ, during his temptations, his Father watched over him. God, the Father, he watched over him. Of course, the only time that God was not with him was when he was crucified, because he was bearing man's sin. You have to remember, he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" That was, as far as I'm knowing, that's the only moment that the Father was never with him. So even as powerful as Christ was, there was something there. And believe me, he was dealing with things that no one can comprehend. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. Don't try to do this stuff on your own. Not out of your own power. That's stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that. All of the guys I work with, when they do a show, they pray before they even think about trying to put a guest who might be a little bit more supernatural or eccentric than the other. Because you don't know, many times people themselves don't know what's attached to them. Of course, you think cryptid's going to care? No, it's a cryptid. It's beyond our understanding. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Be careful about what could be attached to the subject matter you're looking at. So many people I've known, and with all the backbiting and the backstabbing that I've seen, again, you really have to really stay in the light on this. That's all I'm really going to say, because again, it would be rambling beyond that point. But I want you guys to really be careful. And just, again, for God's sake, be careful. Because I'm telling you, human badness is bad enough. You ain't needing to draw any more than you need. Always be careful about what you put in your head. And also, again, if you're going to put certain things in your head, which is understandable, make sure you're mentally and spiritually prepared for it. That's all. You guys be safe and be blessed.